guys? This is Guy Swann.
And this is Gary Leland, and you're listening to episode 130 of the Crypto Cousins podcast.
Feed your interest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies by joining Hall of Fame podcaster Gary Leland on the Crypto Cousins podcast. And remember, we are all cousins in the world of crypto.
Howdy, 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 Guy. Welcome to the show for the second time.
Yeah. Good to be back.
I think last time you were here, you were helping me set up my casa because I was kind of lost. Now we can actually...
Oh, that's right.
Now we can actually talk.
Yeah. Is that still going well? I was having trouble with my casa actually like a couple weeks ago, and it took me a bit to get it back up and running, but everything's
I've had no problems. Yeah, I had some problems setting it up just because as you helped me with, there were things I just didn't know that weren't addressed, simplified enough. Maybe is the best word for it, for me to just jump in and do it. But once you said, here's what it is, it's worked fine. And that's been 8 months. Haven't had any problems.
Nice.
I set up a BTC Pay server. I haven't done anything with that yet except set it up. So I need to start doing something with it, but I have set it up. And that was relatively easy to do, which I hear people complaining about all the time. But I kind of feel like if an old boomer like me can figure it out, it's not that damn hard. That's what I use as a test. I say BTC Pay server is boomer friendly, Bitcoin for boomer friendly.
Man, I set up my BTC Pay, I don't know, a couple months back, and the original setup wasn't hard. Like I did it through Lunanode, and they just
said I did.
The automatic thing. That was great. My issue so far has just been the interface. Is like navigating all of the different toys essentially in that. Like there's a huge plethora of like different things that you can do with it, and they kind of have like their names are not very intuitive. And I like to I actually kind of detailed this in a thread with one of the developers, how I like to do kind of like a blind walkthrough of the software before I really like dig into it, just to see where the software itself leads me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I click on something or just take an assumption as to what this name is, what am I expecting versus what do I run into? And
that's a good thing to do. And that's how I kind of look at things. I should be able to go in and maneuver my way around without needing to be technically savvy. I should be able to look at that and go, okay, here's where I go to do this. Where a lot of times there's a title, but you're still not sure what it's for, that area.
Yeah. I admit, though, that there's been a number of frustrations with the interface that I'd had to go dig through the docs and like really figure it out. And then I'd always find essentially that the thing I was looking for was there, just not at all where I expected it to be. So that's been a little bit frustrating, but since I've gotten it working, it's been a charm, and it's so great to just have like a thing that I can throw on my site and it just keeps working.
And I say it's Bitcoin it's boomer friendly, but then again, all I did was set it up. So I haven't gone in. Now I may be going, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever used once I get in there and start doing it. But as far as getting it set up through Lunanode and stuff, thing of Lunanode, I wish I could just set that up on an automatic, just withdraw money out in my PayPal. Because I keep having to like throw $20 in there, $50 in there, whatever.
Yeah, I've been doing the same.
I don't know why I'm throwing $50. I mean, I'm going to have it for a while. I probably guess I should throw a couple $100 in there, but I just don't want to tie up a couple $100.
Yeah,
in there. So I wish they did like a reoccurring payment system of $5 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes sense to me, but they don't do that.
I'm really curious about Sphinx, which I have not set up yet. And they've got Sphinx is the new, it's kind of like the new gossip protocol, I think, is actually where the name comes from for Lightning. But then there's an app now, or maybe a wallet of some sort, that has encrypted messaging built into it that's taking advantage of this. And they are saying that they've got in Lightning, they've got recurring payments.
Oh.
That you can set it up to continually pay some balance or whatever. So I'm very interested to see the first few iterations of that, since obviously you can easily program a continuous, like a relative push, or a recurring push payment, from your wallet side. And if it's locked to a public key, well, then you can just keep doing that. You don't have to do move over from the hashes to the public key locks. I think that's going to be something that really extends out that next step of the Lightning Network, and I want to see that get implemented more widely. I'm really, really eager to test that out.
Yeah, I haven't even been in there to see that yet. But that makes me think of a question I want to ask you. Do you actually spend your Bitcoin?
I basically have as much in Bitcoin at any time. I do end up spending a lot of it. I have
Or
to.
do you buy it to spend? I mean, like if you're going to spend some
Sometimes,
Bitcoin, do you
yes.
go on Cash App and buy some and then send it from there or something? Or
Sometimes it's really a pretty big variation of stuff, and it's always really fun to get it all together during taxes,
Right.
Which is I'm in the middle of right now. But sometimes I buy on Cash App. Sometimes I'll still use local Bitcoins on occasion. And Cash App is really probably the one that I use more than anything. But I've had to dip into my savings to kind of keep the show alive for a while now. And that's just kind of been on and off. But then when I have extra, I'm always putting it back into Bitcoin. And then I have like a small subset that I spend with Lightning and stuff. I've been trying to move everything to Lightning for the small portion of it that I do spend pretty regularly. I've been trying to migrate all that to Lightning.
Well, I do have to say I've known about the Cash App for quite a while now, and I actually just finally put in my KYC and stuff about a month ago and started actually using it.
Yep.
To buy Bitcoin, and oh my gosh, that is like the easiest way.
Oh no, it's pretty. Yeah, it's quick and easy. It's pretty great. I can go from my bank account to withdrawing Bitcoin in just a matter of like a minute.
Yeah, so that's why I said before, if I did have to, which is few and far between that I spend it, but if I did have to buy something and pay with Bitcoin, maybe I'm using an artist that only will accept Bitcoin or something.
Yeah,
which has been most of them. I would have to pull out my wallet and transfer it now, though. I mean, now that I have the Cash App, if I have to pay $200 in Bitcoin for something, I literally would buy $200 in Bitcoin and transfer it from. I'd buy it just for that purpose and then transfer it right out. So I never touch my money. And I believe since I never really put it into that wallet, I'm not having to worry about, okay, how much did I pay for that Bitcoin that I'm transferring out? I paid for that Bitcoin maybe 3,000. Now Bitcoin's 10,000. So I got $500 worth of Bitcoins that I made some money off of because I'm buying it at $500 and I'm transferring it right out. So it's not touching that pile. So I think that actually is going to make it easier when I get together with my accountant. I think he's going to like that. He's going, oh, that's better. That's better. I don't have to sit here and, so that's what I'm hoping. But yeah, I can't believe it took me that long to actually sit. And I don't want to sound like a Cash App commercial, but I really like it.
Yeah. No, I've been loving Cash App. I'm super excited about. I haven't really played with SparkSwap, but I've had a couple people in the Cryptoconomy crew who swear by it and have been using it a lot.
Okay.
And then also Strike. I'm so excited about Strike because a lot of what I've ended up doing is going from Cash App to a withdrawal, and then I send a transaction like a loop to fill up my Breeze wallet for Lightning, and it ends up being basically 3 transactions because I can't turn a withdrawal into a multiple output transaction.
Okay.
Like if I could, I would do a withdrawal to my savings, whatever the change output that Square did by default, and then also a loop in of like $50 or whatever to my Lightning wallet, and I would just do that as one transaction. But because I can't, I end up having to do it in like 2 or 3 steps before getting to Breeze. But with Strike, I'll be able to buy immediately to an invoice that just fulfills my Lightning, and I never even have to have a Bitcoin transaction. My Bitcoin transaction was the setup transaction for my wallet that happened 10 months ago, and so I've just got that available on Lightning. So being able to fund directly into Lightning is going to be massive. I'm so excited about that just because I am using it pretty heavily lately.
Well, I'll be following you to see what you're doing, so I know which route to go. You got to have someone who's the leader, and you make a good leader. Hey,
I'll play with it. I'll play with it all.
Getting off that subject, I do want to talk to you about your show, which I like and is one of my top shows. You know, I rated earlier this year my top 8 podcasts, and you were ranked very high. I like your show.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
You know, some of your episodes you had, some of your episodes are great. Like one of them brought me to tears. You were reading.
Do you remember which one it was?
Yeah, it was the last post, one of the last blog posts. Gosh, now the name can't.
How Finney?
Yes. How Finney is the last blog. I actually was driving I do a Bitcoin and crypto coffee every Wednesday, and I was on the way there, and I actually started crying during that episode. I mean,
I had to re-record that last little bit because I started crying while I was reading it.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to hear something that is intense, that's a good word for it. Go to the Cryptoconomy, right? And listen, find the How Finney post that he reads. It is like, I even told my wife, we go on an hour walk every night. And while we were on our walk, I told my wife I pretty much didn't repeat the whole thing, but it was like a 15, 20-minute conversation on that blog post. And I had never read the post. I didn't even know the post existed. But that's the kind of little gems that you pull out. Not counting the current info, the little gems you pull out that you're like going, wow. And it kind of like, sometimes your current things that are happening, sometimes you're bringing out these gems in history that if you're into this like you and I are, you really enjoy that information, you know?
Yeah. I love those little dives. It's titled Bitcoin and Me, and it's episode 289, and it's one of Hal Finney's last posts on the Bitcoin Talk forums. And he was actually writing it, and he says in the thing that he was writing it using the mechanism where like he would move his eyes and it would type or whatever. And the fact that he was just talking about like, I still write code. It's slow as shit. Excuse me.
That's okay.
It's slow as crap. But
and he's going, you know, I think my kids are more than competent enough to find my Bitcoin and handle it without me needing to tell them what to do. So I feel secure there. And and he's like, oh, it's just a great post. So I appreciate that post, and I appreciate what you do. How'd you decide to start doing this? Your show?
It was really after years of wanting somebody else to do it. I
did a magazine once like that. I wanted someone to publish this magazine about podcasting, and no one did. So I said, hell, I guess I'm going to do it.
Yep. And I basically just for years, there were a couple of different things. One is that I was consuming so much content in audio. I had just drowned myself in podcasts and audiobooks. Excuse me. And in doing so, I just got to where like I didn't have the time to sit down and read that much. And I would also find myself I'm so distracted on the internet so quickly. And everybody's attention spans, they did one of those research studies saying that like the average attention span was like 15 to 20 seconds from like the 80s or something. And now kind of the internet conditioning or whatever has literally brought it down to like 10 seconds. Like it's even worse than it used to be.
Forget now. Like when I first started doing my first e-commerce in 96, you know, we were on dial-up 24K or 12K. You had to wait longer than that just to get online. Now people are like going from one website to another and going, oh man, get out of here. This website's 5 seconds load. I'm out of here.
What is that? What is that twirly wheel? What is that? Let's get out of here. And I would catch myself doing this and then realize that how many conversations I was probably having with people who would read the headline of an article and it'd be a brilliant article with like stuff all through it that was just gold. But you know, you'd read the headline, the first couple of sentences, and then skim like a paragraph or two, and then just get distracted and move on to something else. And I caught myself doing it a lot. And I would be like, why didn't I just finish that article? I wanted to read the whole thing. And I'm like, if somebody had it in audio, I would actually listen to it. I would go through the entire piece of work and get all the things that I'm missing. And then finally one day I was just like, all right, I'll just do it. You know, I imagine somebody else out there is hoping that somebody else is going to do it too, you know, waiting for someone else to, you know, pick up the baton, I guess.
Right.
And so I just kind of started it one day. The first 5 or 10 episodes are me talking into my iPhone, just chilling on my bed, reading off my iPad.
Well, that's what I always say though, is to new podcasters, because a lot of time they, since I've been doing it so long, they ask for advice. I say, just start it.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter if you use your phone. Don't be putting it off because you don't have the equipment or you don't have your headshot or your image
logo
or your
just all that stuff.
Just start it, and then because it's going to suck anyway in a year.
Yeah.
When you listen, I don't care how much time you take. A year from now, it's going to suck. So just go ahead and start it. So because you can't start improving until you start doing. You know. So you did a good point there. Now you've taken it further. I mean, I know you did a voiceover for Jimmy Song's little Bitcoin book, right?
Yep. And, I did that for all those guys.
Is that the only book you've done, or have you done any other books?
We've done a couple of books, actually. 21 Lessons I have been trying to scramble back together because I'm not super happy with the old audio cut that I have. But Gigi is releasing that as a full audio book, and right now he's waiting on me because I'm in the process. And then we've also finished Jan's Inventing Bitcoin.
Right.
And that's still just waiting. ACX, the company that does the audio publishing, is not. It's really frustrating to work with, and we've both kind of run into headaches there. We're very close. The audio is done, so sooner, rather than later. And then I'm also talking to like 2 other people right now. And as long as we can get some sort of platform to release it on, because Audible's not available in their countries. I should have a couple other audiobooks on the way too. So that's been going pretty regularly.
Just to mention, I didn't think about this, but I'm starting. I've been talking to Andreas Antopoulos about his Bitcoin book, and we're going to release that as a podcast.
Oh, cool!
Every month, do a chapter as a month. He said, "Sure, go ahead and do it. I don't care, just as long as you don't say." As long as you give me credit for the book, which I would not think.
Are you talking about mastering Bitcoin?
Yeah. And,
cool. And if you want any audio, I've got about 4 chapters of that already in audio.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I was just going to start. Matter of fact, I went ahead and bought the actual book because I'm going to do video like I do of me reading it, and then pull the audio out.
Yeah.
But he said, as long as you don't take credit for it, you tell him I wrote the book, and as long as you don't say I recommend your show. And I say, I wouldn't say you recommend your show. That's fine. He goes, but you're welcome to do it. And I said, okay, so cool. So that was going to be, I don't know what we're going to do the podcast. Maybe it'll be another podcast like Bitcoin book podcast or something. And that'll be the first. We'll see how that goes. A lot of code in there though, that, I don't think it'd be interesting when you get to it. You're going 1, 6, 4, 5. So I'm just going to go, I think I'm trying to decide how to go. I think I'm just going to say, and then here's a lot of code. So we're skipping all that. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that coding part would be very, it's like I did an episode, the Bitcoin white paper. Mm-hmm. I have the What is Bitcoin podcast. And every week I go over a different thing about Bitcoin. I said, well, I'm going to read the Bitcoin white paper, but I'm going to skip all this math because that's not going to make a very interesting listen. If you're that interested in the math, go look at it, So
that's basically I had a issue with that as well, trying to figure out how to navigate the code.
Yeah.
And
what'd you do? I just said, go read it yourself. I'm skipping it.
Basically, is I intend to have a video series with it. So I just kind of, for anybody who is really trying to dig into the code, I'm just like, so these are the commands that like we'll be doing in the video, but just look at the video that accompanies this, and then keep going from there.
Well, you and I have a lot of similarities on what we do. We just do them in different manners, I guess. I'm doing that as a podcast. You're doing it for the authors to go up on Audible or something. We both do almost. Do you do yours daily?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's daily too. But I notice I'm like 150 episodes ahead of you.
It's going to be hard to catch up. It's going to be
hard. 5:10, and if we're both doing it every day, you're going to have a hard time catching up with the 4-minute crypto show there. Unless you could start doing weekends though and double up. On days and catch me. So
you never know.
That is possible to catch me. So, but I really enjoy doing it because I was the same way. I read so much stuff, and I wanted to make it short and concise. And I was going to do 5-minute crypto, but someone had that domain name. So
no kidding.
Yeah. So I
that's
said,
funny.
They don't have a show. They just own the domain. So I said, I'll do 4-minute crypto. Now, though, I wish I'd done 4-minute Bitcoin. I wish I'd done 4-minute Bitcoin now because I never talk about crypto.
Yeah.
And I've got several things like that when I start, like the Crypto Cousins and the Crypto Pie, I have several things that are crypto named because I like the double alliteration. But really,
Same.
I never talk about crypto though. I am, but it's always Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I wish I had been more specific.
I did the exact same thing. That's kind of where I am with crypto.
Oh yeah, you're exactly the same thing. Sam, we got a lot in common.
Yep. And I'm actually quote unquote rebranding because of that.
I've started rebranding too. I've been changing I have starting this Monday. Like at the end of 4 Minute Crypto, I always said, "This is Gary Leland, the crypto podcaster." Yeah. And starting Monday, I started going, "This is Gary Leland, the Bitcoin boomer," to get the crypto word out of there. Nice. So I'm slowly but changing. And I found the other day, Bitcoin podcaster. No one owned it. And so,
what?
Yeah.
No kidding.
And so I bought it. So I'm going to rebrand the whole. Yeah.
Snag I was like, that.
That's hard to find the domain name with Bitcoin in it at all, Because I wanted the Bitcoin boomer, our Bitcoin boomer, but someone had those that didn't use them either.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to find Bitcoin for boomers, luckily, because I kind of made that one up. So no one had made it up already. But let's get off the books here. I want to talk about something I did want to talk about was conferences.
Yes.
Because, conferences, oh my gosh, I was supposed to be at a conference, LA Bitcoin Week.
Yep.
Bitcoin 2020. I was going down to this giant meetup in South Texas. I was going to go to South by Southwest for the Bitcoin stuff at the beginning of the week there. Mm-hmm. And I think there's one other thing. And it's all canceled. I mean, I've been telling my wife for 6 months, March, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be on the road the whole month. This is actually the least I've ever been on the road. And there's good reason. It's just, I hate to see all the virus and stuff happening, but it sure has wrecked the Bitcoin conference world and all conference worlds, I'm sure.
Yeah, it really has.
But I guess we relate more to the Bitcoin conference world. And I feel so sorry for the guys over at Bitcoin 2020, especially. I mean, they've been planning that for a year.
I was so excited about that one, man. We'll still be going. It's just, postponed till the end of the year, or like the third quarter. I had a busy March planned for travels, and now I'm fighting with airlines to get money back.
Well, luckily I haven't had any problems there. So I've been, I found out about you at Bitcoin 2019 at the carnivore dinner. Brady with Citizen Bitcoin told me about your show, because I always ask people what their favorite podcast is, and he mentioned you.
Oh.
And so I loaded into my podcast app right then. I said, let me get it then if it's that good. And that's how I started listening to you while we're talking about it. But
heck yeah.
Yeah. So I like going to events.
Brady's spreading the good word.
He was spreading the good word. Not only do I think you meet a lot of people, you make a lot of connections that you can network with. Not only does that happen, but you find out information, that you wouldn't have known before. Like maybe I might not have known your show. Maybe I would have, but I started listening to your show because of that date. Now they're rescheduling that event for, like you said, third quarter. Mm-hmm. Still, that's got to be a nightmare because the size of their conference.
I know.
I know my conference is in August, the last weekend of August, BitBlockBOOM. And, if this isn't done by then, I'm pretty much financially a wreck. I'm guaranteed for a certain amount of hotel rooms that there's no out. I mean, the hotel might let me out, but there's no out in the contract if there's a pandemic, that you can get out of all this stuff. And I've got to spend a certain amount of money on food and drinks. And it's all in the contract there. I'm in for a buttload of money. So I can only imagine with their conference, mine is hoping to do 300 people. Theirs was going to be 3,000 to 4,000. I can only imagine how they must be feeling.
Yeah, it's got to be a tough thing to deal with. And now quarter three is going to be crazy busy. We got BitBlockBOOM, TabConf is right around there too. They're in September, and it sounds like Bitcoin 2020 might be landing somewhere in September. So it's going to be like back to back now Bitcoin conferences towards the end of the year.
And then that, luckily for me, because that's a big concern for me, because I'm one of the smaller ones, because I try to keep mine more of a boutique conference instead of a huge conference. I really don't ever want mine being more than 350 people ever.
Yeah.
I'd rather have 350 great people than 3,000 people. And I still have maybe 400 great people and the rest are just people. That's not my goal, but they are being very considerate of me. They said they know my event's going on. they said several people have contacted him to say, hey, BitBlockBoom's in the third quarter. So hopefully we're not going to be too close together, but that's still a concern.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was I feel hopeful that by the third quarter, by into August, that everything's pretty calm by then. But I was talking to a friend of mine who just finished the conference last week in Florida, and he's telling me things like, hey, you need to go buy you a bunch of those hand sanitized stations and put them out, for people who do have a concern still. And he said, get stickers for badges, and if people have a red dot on their badge, that means they don't want to shake hands. He was giving me a lot of tips to help to make the conference
that's good,
more friendly for people who might be concerned. And we were already doing things from last year. Like this year, we were having red lanyards and blue lanyards. And if they have a red lanyard, that means don't take their picture. They don't want it on the internet.
Yeah.
Because we had some people upset about that last year, that they were at a dinner, and someone at a dinner, I didn't have anything to do with the dinner, took their picture and put it on the internet. And it wasn't even my dinner. And I took the heat. So this year I'm like, getting that all covered,
Yeah. Yeah.
If they go to the dinner and don't want the dinner, they better wear their red lanyard.
Yeah. No, it's Bitcoin OPSEC. Bitcoin or OPSEC is next level. Some people are super private. Even with the drones at Bitcoin 2019, apparently they got a lot of complaints of people. Like, you could see me in the crowd, and it's like from above you, like straight down in a group of like hundreds of people. Like,
I was trying to figure out, for BitBlockBoom, I have two speakers, and you're speaking at the event, but I have two speakers who don't want their pictures on the site. We have Adolfo and VK, and we have Rockstar Developer. And both of them don't put their pictures anywhere. And so now, since we're live streaming that, because we're live streaming it free this year, I'm trying to figure out, how do I handle that when they come up to speak? Do I need to get a sheet and put in front of the speaker's podium and put lights behind them, so you're seeing their shadow as they speak? Or
their silhouette.
I bought one of those Guy Fawkes masks. I figured maybe they wanted to put the Guy Fawkes mask on. I got to figure out how to handle that, which is another thing, and that's a small thing really compared to what we're talking about with the virus. But while we're talking about that, I do want to make sure everybody listening knows about BitBlockBoom, which you do now because we've been talking about it. But I call it the Real Bitcoin Conference, coming to Dallas, Texas, because that's all we talk about: Bitcoins, not altcoins, not blockchain. This is a true Bitcoin conference, and this is our third year into August, last week in August. So if you're interested at all, we have a ton of great speakers. Go to bitblockboom.com. Take a look today. You can use the code COUSINS, COUSINS, at checkout, and you'll receive a 30% off the price of your ticket. Last year, I think, was great, and I think this year is going to
it's so much fun.
This year's going to way outdo it.
We had a blast.
It's going to really outdo it. And I have some more things to announce, but I don't want to really be announcing those right now because I'm kind of feel like I'm caught in a catch-22 with all the stuff going on. Should I be doing a lot of promotion for the event? I feel it's going to be safe by then, but if something happens and it's not, we'll be canceling, of course, and refunding money. But I have some really good announcements to make, but I'm just feel like now is the worst time with what happened yesterday.
Maybe hold off, and then and then last night and this morning. Good Lord,
that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to just hold off a couple of weeks and just keep working behind the scenes like I have been. But I'm kind of excited to go see some Bitcoiners. That's the best thing. That's the thing I'm missing really, is not getting to go with my people,
hang out with the crew,
and hang out and talk Bitcoin and eat some meat. And I started eating. January the 1st, I saw Safe in Vegas 2 weeks ago, and I told Safe I started the carnivore diet 2 weeks ago, or in first week in January. Because really, I didn't eat green food anyway. I've never liked green food. Never have, never will. I like salad if I could pour a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah.
Like if I pour blue cheese all over it, I would eat a salad, but I was really eating the blue cheese, and the lettuce happened to be in the blue cheese.
Yeah.
So for me, giving up anything except for meat really meant I was giving up the bad vegetables like potatoes and corn and pasta, and that kind of stuff, and ice cream and desserts. So I started doing that on January 1st, and I've lost, I think today, this makes, 3.5 months, I've lost 16 pounds.
Wow.
And I haven't been hungry at all because I eat a ton of stuff. I eat a ton of meat. I mean, all day long I'm eating meat. I bring chicken up here to work and Slim Jims and jerky, and I get home. but I've lost like 16 pounds in 3 months, and I haven't been hungry yet.
I've been on a variation of this. My wife was having like real issues with food and not figuring out for a long time what was going on, and then she kind of got on the gluten and grain free kick, like trying to source it. And then there was this one kind of program or like website called Whole30, and they wrote a book kind of like detailing out their philosophy, and it's just like eating just like straight food, like stuff that it like 3,000 years ago, what was food? Eat only those things,
right?
And
well, you're a thin guy though. You shouldn't be having too big a damn problem.
Well, see, the funny thing is that I started with her just to make it easier, so we were buying the same things at the store, and I've always been like a thin guy. I never really thought I had weight to lose.
Right.
But I was puffy. I wasn't super active. I was editing at the time. I was doing straight video editing, and I had stopped construction for like the year. So that had been my exercise for years. Just as soon as I switched off of like all the carbs and stuff, we just basically started going like 80% meat just because of lack of other things to eat.
Right.
And I just like you, I lost 20 pounds that I didn't even think I had to lose.
Yeah.
Like my face looked differently. I don't know. And I felt good and I had more energy and I was never hungry. And now we are basically carnivore too. We still throw in some broccoli and
I can't eat that. I just don't even like it, so it's green.
I still love broccoli.
Yeah,
broccoli
my wife
with
loves that stuff.
Bacon.
I love bacon. I love the bacon. Don't get me wrong.
Oof.
You know, people always say you always hear like people who are, I don't know, what do you call it? Vegetarians, whatever, going, I don't eat anything with eyes. I only eat.
Yeah.
When people ask me, I
don't eat anything green.
I only eat things with eyes.
I only eat things with eyes.
And I make an exception for eggs because I know they're going to have eyes. So that's my deal is I only eat things that have eyeballs. But I said I've lost weight. But, you don't. See, you've met me. We met last year at BitBlockBOOM, and we had a great time, of course. But see, I was 350 pounds. So
we did talk about that. I think we chatted about that while we were there.
So I was huge. I mean, 350 pounds, 352, I think was my high. I mean, we went to Panama on a vacation one time, me and the family, and I had to get a seatbelt extender because I had the seatbelt was as big as you got.
Wow.
I mean, you couldn't. I thought I was going to have to get off the plane. I didn't know there was such a thing as seatbelt extenders. I mean, luckily there was because I needed like another 3-4 inches, to buckle my seatbelt. That's how big I was. Wow. And now I can buckle my seatbelt.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it was like,
congrats. That's a hell of a transformation.
Well, it was like a 4 or 5 year I mean, it was a long road. So I had started gaining some of it back after I quit the diet, and because I didn't change my lifestyle, I just quit eating for the most part. Yeah. I was eating like 1,000 calories a day for a couple of years. And I guarantee you eat 1,000 calories a day and you're a guy, you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose a couple of pounds every week.
Mm-hmm.
The funniest thing, though, getting off that subject is I lost the most weight in one batch when I quit drinking diet soft drinks. I lost 30 pounds, and I think that was strictly from, because I drank like maybe 10 diet soft drinks a day at the time.
Dude, there's so many of those, like the alcohol sugars, and there's so much in all of that. I could not believe when I started really digging into that, the amount of sugar that we consume is phenomenal. And that is probably outside of like the lack of grains and carbs. Right. The shift in how much sugar I consume is like whenever I have something sugary now, because I have so little of it on a normal basis, like I am fully aware, like my heart rate goes up. My Apple Watch is telling me that you haven't done anything and you've got a crazy fast heart rate. Why don't you calm down there, guy?
But since I've lost all this weight, I was on high blood pressure medicine. Mm-hmm. I'm not on high blood pressure medicine anymore. I don't take cholesterol medicine anymore. My heartbeat and rate and everything is like blood pressure is like perfect. My wife thought I was lying. And she was at the doctor's with me the other day because I had to have a small surgery. And she goes, and they did it. She goes, wow, your blood pressure is really good. She thought I was lying when I said that. Because I always say, she goes, how is it? And I don't know the numbers, and I don't even care to learn all that.
Yeah.
And I always say, they said it was perfect. And she always thinks I'm BSing her. And she was there. She goes, it is perfect. You aren't BSing me. So I really feel like, for an old boomer, I'm doing pretty damn good. I always said I wanted to live to 65. I'd be happy. Now I'm going, shit, I might live till I'm like 85 or 95. Hell, I don't take any medicine yet. Hey, I got an idea I just thought of. I don't know if you're interested in this. Let me know if you are.
Okay.
And if you're not, I'm going to edit this out.
All right.
Because I don't want to be denied on the air. So feel free to deny me because I don't want to ever know.
Okay.
I was studying this in the back of my mind anyway, but I hadn't really thought about it. I wanted to have some podcasts do contests with tickets, free general admission tickets to BitBlockBoom. If I gave you like 4 free general admission tickets to BitBlockBoom, do you think maybe you could do anything with those?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we do that? I'll give you 4. You can just count it. You have 4 admission tickets to BitBlockBoom, general admission tickets. That's for the Saturday event, and that also covers the Saturday night party too. Okay. So it's not just the daytime. Because this year, last year we got through at like 5 or 6, and people had stuff going on. This year we're in there till 11:30, and we're going to do a networking party. And I believe Stefan Lavera is going to do his karaoke party that he was going to do in there Saturday night. So we're going to do a whole thing. And I think during Marty and during the Rabbit Hole recap show, we're going to bring in 2 bars. Because they always drink on their show. So we're going to roll in 2 bars and have free drinks from our sponsor during the show. So everybody it'd be more like Marty's show, except the whole audience is drinking. And then that'll roll into the party, our networking event till 11:30. And we're also talking to Owls Lacrosse about being the comic, for half an hour or so, trying to make it a big event. So they'll be included in that too. So you can give away 4 tickets that cover all day Saturday and the Saturday night event. And you just need to do whatever you want with them. It's however you want to give them away. And you just let me know who you gave them to. Okay. Their email whenever you do it, and I'll email them and set their pass up for them. But I was thinking about doing that, and I might as well do it with you because I like your show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Dude, I know there'd be definitely some listeners will be super jacked about that.
Yeah. So we'll do some Saturday tickets, and like I said, that's the whole day. That's not just the Saturday. That's Saturday night too. And that's really all there was last year besides the brunch. And they can come to the brunch if they want to, but they need to buy a brunch ticket because that could be sold out anyway by the time. At the rate that's going, that could be sold out anyway by the time they win it. You know, so because that's selling out. That sold out last year. So tell me, okay, we got that solved, and now I don't have to edit the show out, right? That made it easier. I probably should have asked you before or after, so I wouldn't have to take a chance on editing the show. Tell me, what are your favorite podcasts? As a podcaster, someone who said they were consuming a ton of audio. You're like me. I consume a ton of audio. That's all I consume are podcasts all day long. What are your favorite, let's say, top? I'm not going to say top 3 because I don't want to make you make that decision. Tell us some of your favorite podcasts you listen to.
What I end up doing is grabbing, I constantly keep a stream of things that people recommend to me, so that I kind of get a filter of things that somebody else has already thought was really specifically good from a subset of podcasts like Tales from the Crypt. I will listen to What Bitcoin Did every once in a while, but I've increasingly had less and less time to consume Bitcoin podcasts, which really sucks. But the ones that I find myself going back to and making sure I pick up some episodes on are Tales from the Crypt.
I love that show.
Yeah, On the Brink, I've been absolutely loving, and that's kind of a newer podcast. And I'll still find myself going back and listening to Jordan B. Peterson. I love the way that guy frames and thinks about things and gives psychological perspectives on stuff. And that's totally non-Bitcoin, but I like to take a break from Bitcoin and all the crypto stuff every once in a while.
Well, On the Brink now, because I'm not familiar with that, so I went to subscribe to it because I asked people this opinion because I want to know. That's how I found out about your show. I don't ask people just for conversation. When I pull up On the Brink, I get On the Brink with Castle Island, On the Brink with Andy Simon, On the Brink stand
Castle
out?
Island.
Castle
Island. It's Castle Island Ventures with Nick Carter and Matt Walsh.
Okay, well, I've subscribed.
Yeah.
Thank you for the tip on that.
No, it's great. They have a lot of good stuff, and they really like dive deep into things.
Okay, well, thank you for the recommendation on that.
Absolutely.
Hey, I do have a bone to pick with you too, though.
Yeah, what's up?
I was listening to your show one day, and you guys are giving us boomers a hard time with these boomer bucks and stuff. We're not like in love with these boomer bucks. I don't know why they should be called like greatest generation or silent generation bucks. We had nothing to do with them. I don't know why they're boomer bucks.
Talking about the Raleigh Bitcoin meetup?
Yes.
I double posted that on my feed a number of times.
Yes, because we had nothing to do with it. That stuff was there. That stuff was there when we were kids, just like it was when you were kids. And all of a sudden, we're getting claimed for
so much crap.
Yeah, we're getting all the damn. They took all that silver out of those quarters when I was like in third grade.
Yeah.
They took the gold out of the dollars when I was like in 10th grade. So, we had nothing to do with it. We had nothing to do with that stuff.
It's your fault. It's all the boomers.
I do enjoy the fact that the country was so prosperous when I was growing up. I got no complaints there. I mean, we were definitely able to take advantage of that stuff. I feel sorry that it's not as prosperous, but hopefully someday maybe it will be again. But
I think the shift is coming back around. The tide is coming back.
I did too, but we definitely took advantage. But we had nothing to do with screwing the money, at all. but like anybody, any group of people, they will take any opportunity given to them to have some money. For the most part, just like the millennials now. If you said all you guys, well, not all you guys, but everybody who has college debt, we're wiping it out, which would increase. Oh, yeah. I don't think there's any millennials who'd go, well, forget me. That's going to ruin the economy. I'm not taking that money, which is what the boomers did when people were giving them money. So I don't think I'm going to be calling it millennial bucks later down the road when they screw it up.
Bribes are hard to turn down. And it's kind of in the nature of politics. Everybody just takes what they can get, and they all feel justified because they're all angry and hateful that the other side got to take A, and now I get to take B, and it just becomes this never-ending fight to the bottom of the bucket until there's nothing left to hand out.
And actually, by the time any of these bribes cause trouble, they're not in power anymore anyway. They may not even be here.
Oh, yeah, so they don't get the blame. And
so who cares? They just got to keep their job for a while, and they gave away something that's not going to hurt them at all.
They need to make it to the next election, and then they're golden.
Yeah, and that's it. And then you've got to wonder sometimes why people stay in there so long. Because I don't think, like in the Congress and Senate, I mean, you don't have to be there. You're there like 2 terms, 3 terms, you're set for life.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to keep doing that every year for 10, 20 years. I mean, you're pretty much set for life, not counting your retirement and benefits, just all the inside scoop you got to take advantage of and all the contacts you've made. You're set for life.
Yeah.
So you sometimes got to wonder about people that want to stay in there that long. But
I think it's people who love the power, the position, and the feeling important,
Yeah, I think you could be right about that. Yeah, because it must be that ego fulfillment needed. Because, like I said, it's not a financial fulfillment anymore.
Everybody has to listen to me because look who I am.
I'm important now. If I'm not doing this, I won't be important anymore.
Exactly.
Hey, we're going to be wrapping this up soon. But is there any? I want to make sure there's not anything you personally wanted to go over or tell people about that I may have not covered, because I didn't do any prep for this interview. I just contacted you like an hour ago. Hey, you got an hour? Let's talk.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So talk about Bitcoin.
So I don't. Yeah, because what are we talking about? So Bitcoin, Bitcoin conferences, Bitcoin. So we're just talking. So is there anything that you might have wanted to go over that I didn't tell people about that you want to make sure you include?
Whew, stack some sats, man. Good Lord, the price this morning.
I agree.
We're getting the Corona discount right now.
I usually go in and just buy stuff when I want to buy it. But last month, maybe 3 weeks ago, I was going to buy a Bitcoin. I said, no, I think I'll stack sats and do income or average price buying. I've never done average price buying. And I said, I'll buy $100 or a couple $100 every day for the next month or two, instead of just buying today. And oh my gosh, I'm looking like a rocket scientist now, because it's
All
gone
cost
from
average, baby.
it's gone from $10,000, and every day I'm just buying it. It's cheaper and cheaper. And this morning I got in under $6,000.
Oh,
I woke up and saw it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like 59. I need to buy some. Because usually I look at it when I wake up, and I go, oh, let's say it could go down a little bit, and I'll just wait a while and look at it before I leave the office. But this morning I said, oh, I'm buying it now.
Yes.
So this
buying it ASAP. I was scrambling this morning. I had to run to the bank because I didn't have access to my account online, and so I had to scramble to the bank because I was trying to pull everything I could possibly get together to stack some sats, man.
Yeah, stacking sats is the way to go, and I can tell you, I've never done that average income buying, but that is the way to go. I am so happy I didn't just buy. So, and now, even if I'm buying still on the way up, I'm way ahead of where I was.
Oh, you're golden.
Where it was $10,000, So, that's the thing about stacking on the way down is you can also stack on the way back up. In both directions, you were cheaper than you were. So it just worked out for me. I mean, I guess it worked out well. But stacking sats, that's a good way to leave it. Stack those sats, folks. You can't go wrong with that.
Yep.
And not that I'm giving financial advice, but don't panic.
This is all par for the course.
Yeah.
I had a couple of people because there's been a lot of new interest recently in Bitcoin, particularly in like my social circles that are non-Bitcoin, and a couple people like sent me texts like, oh my god, should I be scared? And I'm like, man, you're just earning your bear market badge. Like we've been here so many times before. Like what's changed?
My wife didn't watch it go from 19 to 3,000, like I did.
Yeah.
So she really didn't earn that badge. So she's now, though, more abreast and been keeping up with it. And so now she's earning her badge.
Gotcha. Yep. Got to go through that stress. You got to learn that Bitcoin doesn't die. It's not going anywhere. Just take it back. If you got an option to stack some sats while it's low, do it. But stop thinking about it. Don't look at the price every day if it's going to freak you out and think that you got to dump it a week later because something happened one day. Like, one day is not going to kill Bitcoin.
No.
It's died 380 times. The Obituaries website added a new one today.
Oh yeah, I'm sure without a doubt. Like I said, I think you need to go through it the first time though.
Yeah.
To build up that confidence and that faith and that trust that you didn't, and especially for someone who got into it. And let's say if you bought what you felt was a sizable investment 30 days ago when it was $10,000, and today, 30 days later, and you've lost 40% of your money, and you've never done this before.
Yeah. Oh, it feels rough.
You probably sold your Bitcoin and you got screwed.
Yeah.
Because I know plenty of people that would have done that. And but
everybody has to go through that.
Yeah. Hey, well, I want to thank you for coming on the show, especially with such such short notice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next time we have you on, I'll try to give you like a week's notice, like I normally do.
All right, sounds good.
But and
I'm around.
I always enjoy talking with you. You're a good guy and a smart guy, and keep putting out those good shows.
Same, man. I appreciate it a lot.
And like I said, let's hoping that you have some excitement. You can draw some excitement there for your show with those passes. Hopefully, the listeners.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Those. Yeah, that's a good way to. It's kind of a win-win thing for everybody. You, some listeners get some free passes. You have something to stir interest in your show, and I get some Bitcoin excited people, more people at the conference. So it's a win-win deal. So
win-win-win. I like those.
I like win-win. So when you throw that third win on there, oh man,
that's
awesome.
A killer.
It's a killer. The triple W, you can't beat that. Hey, thanks, Guy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Bye. This has been a CryptoPodcaster.com production.